Yeah, I wish it had gone to court because I could have proved that it hadn't come from my Wi-Fi, and it would have shown them that the Wi-Fi probably come from my ex, which is, I call her name G, and her daughter name, call her C. Um, the woman in question hid behind a friend, she's hidden behind the protection order and hidden behind the police just to avoid telling me the truth. I find it despicable, really. Um, I was good to them the whole 10 years, nearly 10 years we were together, and her and her daughter and her friend called Y knew that I was claustrophobic and how bad a claustrophobic I am. They know I suffer from it, especially, a friend. I even spent 60 hours making a headstone for them because they couldn't afford it. It hurts me that, they would do something like this to me, but they have to live with it, I suppose. I've got no desire to talk to them both, all three of them. I just sort of have to sort of build a bridge and get over that part, but I am going to get my name cleared and my name cleared. I can back up about the woman, my ex-partner G, in the next segment. In 2003, I was stalked for nearly 18 months, and the police didn't do anything. In the end, I had to go to the media, and I went on the television program, the Homes program, and the program was called Men Being Stalked. I had to do that to get the woman in question arrested. First of all, I was being stalked, and then she painted my cars and put paint in my fountain at work, painted my courtesy car, burnt my converter out, and prior to that it was at the police station, and she keyed it down both sides. The police were there. I yelled at her, and the police told me to shut up, but she hopped in the car and pissed off. And then I said to the copper, she just keyed my car down both sides, and you let her go. You were yelling at her. I said, what do you think I was yelling at her for? I said, she's just done $3,000 worth of damage. And what are you going to do? I said, there must be cameras in the car park in Henderson Police Station. He said, oh no, they're only at the door. And I think that was a load of bollocks anyway. But yeah, so it kept carrying on, and then I met my ex-partner, which we call G, and the woman proceeded to do things, and she did things to my partner G, like putting paint over her car, and her car was no good after that. So I actually supplied her another car, which cost me $3,500. She hid behind me. I took the brunt of it. I had all my records burnt. I had my building, all the windows were broken into, everything was happening, and the police did absolutely nothing. But the kicker is that I had 6,700 hang-up phone calls in 6 months. I caught the woman in my yard because I had an alarm on the gate, and I caught her, and my ex-partner G was there, and I grabbed hold of her, the woman in question, and she started to struggle. And true to my principles, I would have had to hurt her to keep on the ground, and it wasn't worth it, so I let her go. And G said to me, why'd you let her go? She said, I can't hurt a woman. I said, you know, what's the point? I said, it's just, I go against my principle. And she was quite annoyed about it. And all this happened, and the police did nothing. And I went to the police station numerous times and laid numerous complaints about it. But having to go to the media to get it done, you know, is diabolical. And when they took the interview and everything else, they said to me, you can't say anything about the police. Probably because they do Police 10-7 and they do all these other ones, which show how good they are, but that doesn't show how bad they are, the things they don't do. I think they don't do a profile before they actually take them in. I think some of them have problems when they're growing up in schools or something, or, you know, bullied or whatever, because some of them think they've got a power with a badge on their shoulder, they can do anything, then they can say anything, they can be, you know, offensible, you know, and they can say things to you and you take it, and I had to take it, even though, you know, I kept to my guns, I wasn't disrespectful to them, they were to me. I mean, it's hurtful to me, and I've suffered, and I'm still suffering from not being able to breathe properly. I haven't been able to work. I paid for the last 3 years until I virtually ran out of money. I sold my house, and now, you know, I've had to go on the benefit, and the amount of money it's cost me in lawyers' fees is incredible. And I've suffered a lot. I want, you know, retribution, and I want people at the police to recognise some of their police are not trained right. They didn't even know, Avondale policeman I got arrested for the last instance that at Manukau, they didn't even know about my home invasion, and they're meant to be things put in place for people with claustrophobia, but it never happened. I'll tell you next about the police complaints, and the corruption is in police complaints and in the police.